Okay, every day I'm going to take the attendance at 8:15. Okay, everyone join before 8:15. Okay, now I'm going to tell you that how to install Python and what, where to download Python and everything. Just simply I'm going to give you a small introduction. Here, for example, you go for Google and type for Python here, and this is the Python website. That is going to be python.org. Anyone note it down? Just note it down. python.org. Or if you go for Google, just type Python and press enter. The first website is going to be the python.org. In here, just go for downloads, and it is automatically telling that Windows download for Windows, and this is the new version of Python. Just click here. If you click here like this, and it will automatically download the application. The application size is going to be around 25 MB. That's it, nothing else. If you want to install it, if you double click on that, it is automatically working like this. If you just click next, then it is automatically installing. Okay, nothing else. Just simply we are going to install it. If you have any doubt on installation of Python in our system, just message me. I will tell you that where is the mistake is that. Okay, when you
Sir,
are,
can we use PyCharm?
yes, you can use PyCharm or anything, any editor, no problem for that. Okay.
Okay.
When you are installing that, here it is asking some checkbox. When you are installing this, uh, this is the first installation. It is asking a checkbox here. Just click on the checkbox and click on install now. There is a checkbox. I will forward the video of how to install it and everything. A small video is there, just 2 to 3 minutes for the first installation of your system. How it is going to be, I will post in the WhatsApp group. I am going to create a WhatsApp group. I am going to share you that link also. I'm going to give you the WhatsApp link. Just join everyone using this link. If there is any support you want, I will message, I will chat in that WhatsApp group. Just join everyone in that WhatsApp group. Okay. Is there any further notification or anything? If there is a useful video or useful content, any information regarding this class and any placement, I'm going to post you in that WhatsApp group. Okay. And, after installation of Python, if you want a PyCharm or anything, you just go for the editor. Here I am going to use IDLE, the standard version for that editor for Python, and just click on that and type IDLE. IDLE is the editor of the Python, which is the defaultly come with Python software. Okay, just click on that. Just click on that. Then it will open a shell command, shell prompt. It is coming with a shell like this. Okay, and here if you want to write any program, just this is not the editor, just simply click on Control N. If you click on Control N, yes, this is the page to write the code. Okay, this is the page to write the code. Okay, and I already opened one thing, and yes, if you want to save it, just click on Control S, and you have to give the name. Have to give the name like this, and just click on save. There is no need to give .py. Why? Because it is already a Python file. Save type as Python files. It automatically going as a Python file. Okay, there is no need to save as a .py file. Okay, the extension of the Python file is going to be a .py. This is the shell. This is just for example, I am going to give a is equal to 10. Immediately I'm going to view the data, that just simply this is the init. This is simply I'm going to check that is the values are perfectly working or not. Okay, what is the value of a value is going to be 10. We are going to check, we will use in the later classes how I'm going to use this shell prompt also. And this is the opening of the file. And in this for example, if I want to write a comment line means there is no use of that line. For example, for the further information, I'm going to write any lines for the information, mainly for the information, that is called the comments. This is a single line comment, that is going to be if you put hash and if you write anything, that is going to be a comment here. That is a single line comment. We have to specify like this, single line comment. Okay, going to be a single line comment. Why I'm telling this one, always in every program I'm going to use these single line comments and multi line comments also. And if you want to write a multi line comment, just simply we have to go for triple quotes. We have to write triple quotes open and triple quotes close, and if you write anything between that, that is going to be a multi line comment. Okay, that is going to be a multi line comment. Going to be a multi-line comment. Okay, if you go for hash, single hash like this is going to be single line comment, and this is going to be a multi-line comment. That means the code is not working what you write inside that. That is called comment thing. Just for the information I'm writing. And in any programming language, there are basic data types are there. They are going to be any programming language. In any programming language, there are basic data types. There are data types. What is data types? First of all, what is the data? What is the data? Okay. Please log in with your college mail ID. Okay, then only we will take the attendance of that college mail ID. Okay. Here, first of all, what is the data? Data means a particular information about, for example, myself. The name is going to be Sudhir, and my employee ID is going to be 2935. And for example, my graduation percentage is going to be like this, and that is going to be like some data. That this is about my data, for example. Okay. Here, Sudhir, my name. This is going to be a name here. This is going to be a name. This is going to be a string. Okay, no doubt about that. This is going to be a string. And if you consider my employee ID, this is going to be a integer. And this is going to be real values or float. Yes, this is going to be a percentage, or everything is going to be a real values, are going to be a floating values. In any programming language, these are the data types only. This is the type of data only. For example, my name, my employee ID, some integer, and the float. These are the basic data types in any programming language. In addition of that, integer, that is going to be long integer, unsigned integer, long integer. If it is a float, it is going to be a double, long double. These are the extensions of the basic data types every time. Okay, but here there is only three data types. So one more data type is there. I will discuss about that later. But here, when you are coming to the data, there are only three data types. That is going to be string, integer, or float. Okay. Always we prefer for this one only. A string means if I go for a single character, that is also here. That is going to be that is also a string. Okay. Basic data types are string, integer, and float. I'm going fast. I think. Is it fast? If it is fast, just intimate me, then I will slow down. Okay. There are the data types are going to be three data types: string, integer. If you consider in any data, for example, your examination. For example, the exam name is going to be for example, M2. Okay, M2. For particular student, the roll number is going to be 18MH. Uh, 18MH0432. This is the roll number. The exam is going to be M2. His marks is going to be some 78, and in that the percentage is going to be some 7 point something like this. If you consider this type of data, yes, this is also, what is this? This is going to be an alphanumeric, right? If it is an alphanumeric, then it is also called as a string. Yes, this is also called as a string. And this is going to be an integer. And this is going to be a float. Okay, if you consider any type of data, only these type of data types are there. Data, what is the type of the data? The type of data is going to be string, integer, or float. That's it, nothing else. Okay, one more data type in Python, that is going to be Boolean. That is going to be a Boolean. That is going to be bool in Python. Okay, that is going to be a bool in Python, that refers that either true or false. True or false. T is capital, F is capital. Remaining all are small letters. Okay. In Python, there is going to be one more data type is there. That is going to be a boolean. That is referred with the bool, and the only the variables are going to be true or false. In other programming languages, true represents 1 and false represents 0, right? In Python, they are going to be represented with true and false. Okay, true and false. This is about data types of Python. Any programming language, not when I teach you Python or any programming language, after the learning of one programming language, it is easy to learn. It is not easy, it is only take 1 to 10 days. 1 week to 10 days only to learn the other programming language. In that way only I am going to teach you every time. Okay. If you learn Python, it is easy to change to the CPP or Java or anything that will, if you know that only syntax, that's it. Remaining everything is same. Okay. If I teach you C also, if you are moving into Python or Java or CPP, it will take only 1 week. In that way, here I am going to teach you. Okay, that is the main intention of my teaching. And these are the data types. And the next one, I think everyone knows that all these things what I am teaching here. Okay, the next one is a variable. What is a variable? For example, if I am taking here some variable is equal to 10, that means I'm putting some data. Into that container. For example, some bag is there. In that bag, I'm going to put my books on that. Bag is a container. Yes, bag is a container. No doubt about that. Bag is going to be a container. Yes, mobile is also a container. We are taking photos and we Okay, just internet issue, that is. Okay, I'm going to take the attendance here. Coming to the variable, that I'm going to take some a container. The container is going to be a variable. I'm going to write a variable, and I'm going to place that data into the some container. For example, here I'm going to take a type of var. Type of var. What is the type of var means? That is going to be, I'm checking that what is the data type of variable here. Here automatically it is converted into a class int here. That is going to be an int data type. For example, I am going to write here var is equal to some 10.2. If I go for type of var, then it is automatically it is going to be a type float. Class is going to be float. For example, I am going to write some string here. I'm going to take a type of var is going to be str. For example, var is equal to boolean thing. I'm going to write here, if I write boolean thing, it will be, just observe here, the name is going to be changing here. Don't give the small letter. If I write like this, that is going to be an error. Okay, if I have to write the T capital and the remaining is going to be small. In false also, if I go for a type var, then it is going to be class boolean. Okay, in this way I'm going to declare a variables. What is the use of variables? For any operation, for any arithmetic operation, or we are going to compare it everything. For example, I'm going to compare with my salary with another salary. That means my salary is a variable, and I'm going to compare with my home expenses. Expenses is going to be a variable. Okay, I have to do any operation on that. I'm going to check on that, and everything I'm going to store the value inside a variable. Then only I can do all these things. Okay, that is the use of a variable. The variable is going to hold some address, some value, no doubt about that. With that variable, I'm going to do some arithmetic operations, comparison, and everything I'm going to do with this variable only. Okay, and here some rules are there when you are writing a variable. When you are writing a variable, we have to write we have some rules, not only for variable, some identifiers. There are some identifiers are there. What is that identifiers means? The function name. For example, if I write any function name or any program name, that means if I am going to save this file, that is also an identifier. Okay, program name or any variable. Variable is also one of the identifier, no doubt about that. If I'm going to declare all these any function name or any program name or any class name or any variable, we have to follow all these rules. We have to follow all these rules. Okay, what is that rules? The rules are going to be, it is contain, we have to write that consisting of capital A to capital Z, or small a to small z, or 0 to 9, and only one special character, that is going to be underscore. In all the programming languages it is common. Okay, we have to write any variable name with this character set only. The character set is consisting of small a to z, capital A to Z, small a to z, capital A to Z, 0 to 9, and underscore. Only one special character, that is going to be an underscore only. Okay, for example, just mute it everyone. A to Z, capital A to Z, and 0 to 9, and underscore. There is no other special character. There is only one special character, that is going to be an underscore only. Shift minus. I have to hold the shift, and I have to click on minus symbol. This is minus symbol. If you hold on shift, and it is going to be a underscore. And the variable name is going to be start with an alphabets only. That is not start with a numerical words. That means every time we have to start with A to Z. The first character of the variable name is going to be A to Z, or capital A to Z, or underscore only. We cannot start with 0 to 9. Okay, we have to start with either alphabets, either it is small or capital, and if we have to write with underscore, we cannot start with this 0 to 9. Okay, there is no space. For example, I am going to write first name. Some variable is there, first name. First name is some variable. You have to write like this. For example, this is going to be an error. There is no spaces in between a variable name. If you want to mention any space, just give the underscore, or maintaining the camel case method. That means if that is going to be a second word, you have to maintain the variable name as a, the character is going to be a capital letter, first name. But don't give like this, don't give a space like this. Okay, don't use any special characters. For example, FIRST, I am going to write plus symbol and name. This is also invalid, this is also invalid, and this is also invalid. Okay, don't go for all these things. Okay, that's it. That's it about some variables. Not only variables, when you save the program also, the name is also a variable. Okay, identifier. If you write any function name, that is also a, we have to follow all these rules. And program name, class name. For example, if you go for database, in the database also, some table name is there, database name is there, column name is there. In every time we have to follow all these rules. Okay, this is about a variable and how I am going to write the variables. Okay, here and I'm going to write a simple program here. Okay, and for example, addition of two numbers. I'm not doing for I'm not teaching you the addition of two numbers here. How I am going to write? For example, here I am going to take num1 is equal to some 10, num2 is equal to some 20. Here I am writing two variables. The name is going to be num1 is equal to 10 and num2 is equal to 20 here. I am not writing like this. Okay, I have to start the variables with any alphabets. Okay, not I am writing with the numbers here. Okay, and there is no spaces also. Here. Okay, there is no spaces also. We have to write like this. Okay, these are the variable names. I'm going to assign the values with 10 and 20, and I'm going to print here. Num1 plus num2. Here addition operation, right? This is going to be an addition operation. If I'm going to execute it, how to execute it? Just if you go for here, there is a run option here in the menu. If you click on the run module, it will be work, and the shortcut of that one is going to be F5, not F5. It is going to be an F5, the function key. If you observe in the keyboard, there is an F5 function is there, F5 key is there. If you click on that, it will be work. If you are using any laptop, some laptops are going to be, you have to hold the function key and then you have to press on F5, then only it will be work. Sometimes in some laptops it is going to be directly working with F5 only. Okay, here if you click on F5, it is automatically opening a shell prompt. And it is going to display the output here. 10 plus 20 is going to be 30, and it is going to be display like this. Okay, and if I'm going to execute it again, yes, it is going to be give the output here. For example, num1 is equal to 10, num2 is equal to 20. Here it is going to be working in this shell prompt also. Why? Because it is working here. Restart, that means it is live. It is not dead here, it is live now. That's why what are the variables in num1 and num2 are working in this shell prompt also. If I open any other shell prompt, if I click on here num1, then it will be give an error here. Okay, if it is going to be opened in this shell prompt, that means it is going to be restart, and this is going to be like this. For example, here restart shell. If I restart shell, if I go for num1, then it is going to be an error here. Up to this only, this code is going to be in a live motion. That's why it is going to be working here. That way I'm going to check is the values are working or not. Before that, For example, here the value of number 1 and number 2 are going to be hard coded. That means the values are not giving by the user, not giving by the user. It is automatically read by the programmer here. But I want the program, I want the program like that. If the user, if the end user is going to be give some values at the runtime, then we have to compile it. Okay. For that, instead of taking that 10 and 20, and we have to take that is going to be an int of, that means I'm going to read integer values. That's why I'm going to take int of input of, is the input of function, and here also I'm going to take that is going to be int of input of. I'm going to read, this is going to be an int of input of. If I'm going to execute it is now asking that it is waiting for some content here. If I give 12 and 35, the output is going to be 45. It is going to be display 47 like this. This is going to be the result. Okay, in this way we are going to read the data. For example, if I want to write a float value, I have to write like this. Just simply I'm going to write float of input of. If I'm going to execute it, if I give 1.2 and 3.2, then it is going to be 4.4 is the answer like this. Okay, when you are reading the data of the using the float, it is going to be like this: int of float of int of input of float of input of. Okay. Okay, and here now I'm going to write a string here. I'm going to read a string and I'm going to display all these two values without concatenation. I'm going to display it. For example, we are thinking that instead of a float, I have to write a string of. There is no need to write a string of. By defaultly, when you use here input of method, it is automatically treated as a string every time. That's why I'm going to convert into int of, and I'm going to convert into float of. There is no need to convert here. For example, I'm going to write some Sudhir and Reddy, and it is going to be print the values like this. Okay. If you want to read a string values, just simply you have to write input of input of. If you want to write float values, read float values, you have to write float of input of. If it is an integer, int of or float of. Okay. If it is a boolean values, also a bool of input of. Okay. Bool of input of, int of input of, float of input of. Just input of means it is got for strings. Okay. Is it clear, everyone? If you have any doubts in that, just ask me and I will explain it again. Okay, very good. In this way, I'm going to read it. As sometimes here, the input is sometimes like this. That is going to be 10 and 20. As these two are the inputs, and this is going to be an output. Here, the output is going to be 30. Okay, here in this way, here I'm going to read it. Yes, this is going to be input. This is going to be an input in one line, the first number, in the second line, the second number, and the addition of two numbers like this. For some time, it is going to be the input is going to be like this. The input is going to be in a single line. I'm going to read the values of number 1 and number 2 in a single line. Then we have to write. Then, for example, if I'm going to execute it, I'm going to give here. I'm going to write here input of. I'm going to write like this. If I'm going to execute it, If it is 10 space 20, if you give here like this, it is going to be given error here. We cannot read a single line inputs into different values like this. There is another method in Python that is going to be a map of function. Using map of function only, we can read the input values. That is going to be num1 comma num2 is equal to num1 comma num2 is equal to map of what type of values I'm going to read. I'm going to read integer values. I'm going to take map of int comma input of dot split off okay. For example, if I'm going to execute it, if I'm going to give the values like this, it is going to be work now. Okay, is it clear? Just note it down everyone. What is that? Reading multiple values in a single line using a map function. Using map function only we are going to read it. Num1 comma, for example, there are three values x, y, and z. X, y, and z is values. For example, I am going to read like this: x comma y comma z is equal to map of int comma input of dot split of. We have to write like this. Okay, here I want to read two values in a single line. That's why I'm going to read num1 comma num2 is equal to map of int comma input of dot split off. Why I am writing in a single line? Yes, I have to check that is the data. What is the type of data here? The input. Just I am going to observe the input data here. The input data is in a single line. If it is a two lines, no problem. Here I am going to write num1 is equal to input of num2 is equal to input of. Here observing the when the input, how the input is, then I am going for this map function. I am going to read the data in a single line. Then I have to write like this. Okay, just note it down, everyone. Map of int comma input of dot split off.
Can we take n number of inputs here?
Then we have to go for example, how many values are there here? How many variables are there?
Here too, but what
Here too.
about the number of?
Then we go for lists. That is called lists. Okay, arrays. Okay. Then we have to pack all the values into a one variable, right? Then we go for lists there, n number of values.
This means if we take multiple inputs only, we should use map of split of function. Is it so, sir?
Yes, yes. But instead of that, we have to write one more function is there. That is a list of map of. We have to write here. It is going to be a list of like this. For this, that is going to be converted into a list. Okay. And now just observe the inputs here. These 10 and 20 are going to be space separated into inputs, right? These are going to be space separated inputs. And here I am not mentioning any space separated here. Just I am going to use a split off only. The split off is defaultly working on space. Defaultly working on space. For example, if I'm going to execute it, I'm going to execute it. I'm going to execute it. Yes, it is automatically taking as the values with the use of space here. For example, the input is going to be like this. If the input is going to be like this, 10 comma 20, the input is 10 comma 20. Here I am going to take like this. We have to take the inputs using the split of a comma. Using the split of comma, if I'm going to execute it, I'm going to take the input is going to be like this. Okay. By defaultly, what is that? What is the character inside the split? That is going to be a space. Either it is a single quotes or double quotes. In Python, both are same. Okay. In Python, if it is a single code or a double code, for example, both are same. Both are same. Okay, but we have to follow that. If you open the bracket with single quotes, you have to close with single quotes. Don't do like this. Okay, in the same way here also we have to, these two are going to be an invalid one. Okay, if you are opening with single quote, you have to close with single quote. If you open with double quotes, you have to close with double quotes. Okay, and everything is for same. But in the remaining programming language, single quotes is for character and double quotes is for string. But here not like that. You have to use any of that. Okay, that is the split story. Split is going to be every time the default space separator is going to be a space only. Is about a split, how to read multiple values in a single line. And then operators. Why I'm going to teach you all these things here? We are going for some battle. We have to learn what is our powers and how to battle and everything. We have to learn first. And then we have to participate in the competition, right? For example, it is going to be a battle, then only you will utilize all your powers. For that, for example, I am going to do some operation here. With what operators I have to do it? You have to know that the basic concept of everything. Here the operators are going to be, everyone knows that. Can anyone tell me that what are the different types of operators in any programming language, not in Python?
Arithmetic, logical,
Yes,
bitwise,
arithmetic, logical. Yes, yes.
bitwise,
Relational, bitwise, conditional.
bitwise,
Okay, bitwise.
Unary operator.
Okay, in Python there is no unary operator. That is going to be increment and decrement operators are not in the Python. Okay.
Assignment operator.
Comparison
Relational
operator.
relational operators,
Relational operators.
Comparison operator.
Comparison operator means the relational operators. Okay.
Conditional operator.
Conditional operator
Logical
means
operator.
logical operator. Okay, done.
Assignment operators.
Assignment operators nahi, assignment operator only one operator, that is going to be a is equal to 1. That is going to be only one assignment operator. Okay. Any other?
Membership operator.
Membership operator means membership. Okay, we are going to discuss about membership operators later. Is and is not and everything. Okay, here basically in any programming language we have to know about these 4 operators. That is going to be arithmetic operators. If you want to note it down, the operators are different types of operators. The first one is going to be an arithmetic operator, and the second one is going to be the relational operators, and the next one is going to be the logical operators, and the last one is going to be bitwise operators. Okay, we are going to, mainly we are focusing on these 3. Okay, mainly we are going to focus on these 3. Okay, arithmetic operators, relational operators, and logical operators. What are the arithmetic operators? We are going to discuss about arithmetic operators of Python. In any programming language, arithmetic operators are addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Okay, we know that, everyone knows that. Then this is going to be a floor division. This is going to be a floor division, and this is going to be a modulus division. Okay, and this is going to be a power operator. These are the arithmetic operators: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, floor division, modulus division, and power operator. These are the arithmetic operators in Python. Okay, for example, if you go for C programming, these are only the operators. What I am highlighting here: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and modulus division. In Python, they are going to be a floor division. They are going to be a floor division. And one more operator, that is going to be power operator, is also there. Okay. For example, here the addition operation, I am already using this one. For example, if I go for subtraction, if I go for multiplication, everyone knows that. For example, here I am going to For example, if I write like this, that means number 1 is 10, number 2 is 4. Okay, that is the sample input. I am going to working that. If I am going to execute it, 10 and 4, the output is going to be 40. Everyone knows how the multiplication is doing, and how subtraction is doing, and how addition operation is doing. And here, and what is the working of how division operation works? It is somewhat different in any programming language. If it is, I'm going to tell you that. Can anyone guess what is the value here? What is the output here? Please don't. When I'm asking that, please don't execute in your systems. You have to tell you that. Just blindly you have to execute in your brain, and you have to tell me the output. Then only you will get how it is working. Okay, if it is wrong, just simply we have to, yes, it is working like that. We have to change like that. If it is working perfectly, no need to change anything. Can anyone
Two-
guess what is the output here?
2, sir.
2.5.
Yes, sir. If you go for C
Two, sir.
programming language,
No output, sir. No output, sir.
right?
Syntax error, sir. Because there int we gave, sir.
Huh?
Int function we gave, sir.
I'm going to
It's
read
correct,
only
sir. It's
integers.
correct.
Just a minute. I'm going to read the two
Output will come,
integers.
sir, but not in floats, sir.
Okay. Well, because it is integer by integer, then it is always going to be an integer. We are thinking in that for example, in Python, but it is going to be giving that that is going to be a floating value always. Okay, this is an actual division here. This is going to be an actual division. It is always gives a floating value. It is always gives a floating value. Okay. If it is exactly divisible also, if it is exactly divisible, for example, 10 by 5, then what is the output here?
2.0.
2.0. Okay. Always the single, it is going to be an actual division every time. Actual division. For example, I'm going to give 11 and 2 here. Then it is going to be 5.5. And now this is going to be the floor division operation. This is going to be a floor division operation, and this always returns a coefficient. Always returns the coefficient. For example, I'm going to write like this. What is the coefficient of this one? Coefficient. For example, 4, 4 and 10, and it is going to be 2 2s, that is 4 2s, that is going to be 8. And the remainder is going to be 2. Okay, the remainder is going to be 2 like this. The remainder is going to be like this. What is the coefficient value here? The coefficient is going to be 2. The coefficient is going to be 2, and here remainder is also going to be, that is the mistake. For example, if it is 11, the remainder is going to be 3. Okay, the remainder is going to be 3, and the coefficient is going to be 2 only. Okay, if I am going for 11 and 4, observe here the output is going to be 2 only. That is going to be coefficient value. Okay, this is always gives the floor division operation gives the coefficient value. Okay, now the next operator is going to be modulus operator. That is going to be a remainder. It always gives a remainder here. What is the remainder? It is also doing the division operation only. It returns a remainder. For example, if I execute it, 11 and 4, it is going to be written as a 3 here. Here it is going to be written as 2 here. For example, if it is a floor division operation, if I am going to execute it, just a normal division, actual division, if it is going to be giving like this 2.75 like this. These three are going to be in a different, all these three are doing the division operation only. The first one is actual division, and this is going to be the coefficient, and this is going to be the remainder of the values. Yes, do you understand what is the three here? First one is actual division, and the next one is a floor division, that is a coefficient value, and this is going to be the remainder value. Okay, and the next one is going to be a power operator. power operator. For example, I am going to write here 2 and 3. 2 power 3 is going to be 2 power 3 is going to be 8. The output is going to be 8. We have to know that, yes, I am thinking that output is going to be 8. If I am going to execute it, if I am going to give here, if I am going to give here 2 and 3, the output is going to be 8. If I am going to give you the input here, for example, that is going to be 5. 2 power 5. 2 power 5 is going to be 2 power 5 is going to be 32. Yes, this is the working of all these arithmetic operators. All these arithmetic operators: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, floor division, modulus division, and power operator. Okay, and the next operators are going to be relational operators. Everyone knows that. Can anyone tell me that what are the relational operators?
Equal to.
Not equal to.
Greater than or equal to, not equal to.
First, I have to start with greater than. First of all, it is going to be greater than, less than, greater than equal to, less than equal to, and not equal to. Okay, we have to tell you that this is going to be equal to. Okay, this is going to be not equal to, not equal to equal to. This is equal to. Okay, we are checking, we are comparing that equal to question mark. Okay, this is going to be a relational operators: greater than, less than, greater than equal to, less than equal to, and not equal to. And these are going to be the relational operators. The relational operators plays very, very crucial role for any conditional statement or anything that is going to be working like comparing every time. Using these relational operators only, we are going to compare here. For example, I am going to compare for my height with another person's height. With for example, if you go for girls, they are going to be considered that I'm more fair than another girl, like that. If she has more marks than me, then the girl is going to be crying, and like that we are going to compare every time. If there is no comparison, the world is going to be very beautiful, right? But here the world has the comparison here. That's why the programming language is also comparing the values here. I'm going to compare everything. Yes, my system RAM is going to be an 8 GB, and again one person is going to be tell that my system RAM is going to be 16 GB. Yes, we are going to compare it like this. All these are going to be checked with these relation operators only. Very, very important. If there is no relation operators, there is no programming at all, right? But here, in any programming language, these are the relational operators. And one more thing, that the relational operators and the logical operators, both operators always gives the output either true or false. Either true or false. Either true or false. The relational operators are logical operators. In any programming language, not only in Python. In C, for example, it is going to be 1 or 0. Okay. In CPP also 1 or 0. Like this, here also it is going to be written. The relational operators and logical operators, both operators are going to be written either true or false. Either true or false. How they are going to be working here? How I am going to read it? For example, 10 is greater than 2. We can't read that 10 is greater than 2 like that. We have to read like this. Is 10 is greater than 2? A question mark is there. We have to read like this. Is 10 is greater than 2? We have to read like this. We have to read like this. When any comparison of any relational operators, we have to read like this. Is 10 is greater than 2? What is the output? Is 10 is greater than 2?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes. Then if it is yes, then it is going to be written as true here. Okay, so true it is going to be. For example, I am going to tell you that like this. We have to read like this. Is 10 is less than 2?
False.
No, sir.
False. Then it is going to be false. We have to read like this every time. Okay, for example, is 10 is 10 equal 10 is 10? Is 10 is 10?
True.
Yes, yes, it is
True.
going to be true. Is 10 is not equal to 10?
False.
False. And in this way, is 10 is greater than equal to 10?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
True, sir.
Is 10
True.
is greater than 10?
False.
False.
False. In this way, we are going to work with all the relational operators. These are going to be the relational operators. Always the output is either true or false only. Okay? Either true or false. That is going to be a relational operators. And the next one, that is going to be a logical operators. Logical operators, that is going to be and, or, and not. There is only three operators here. That is going to be and, or, and not. And or not. These are the three operators here. What is the working of the and or not also? And means for example, we have to qualify. For example, I'm going to write some competitive exam like this. You have to write all the questions. For example, you have to write 5 out of 5. You have to write 5 out of 5. You have to write. Then only you will be passed. Then only you will be passed. Qualify the exam. Qualify the exam. Qualify the exam. If you write 5 out of 5, then only you are going to be qualified. That means you have to write all the questions. Right? All the questions you have to write it. That means that is not only one question. Here you have to write all the questions. One you have to do it, second one also, third one also, fourth one also, and fifth one also. You have to do all the things. That means that is going to be an AND operation. That is going to be an AND operation. Okay, one is going to be qualified, two is going to be qualified, second is going to be qualified, third is going to be like that. We have to write all exams. You have to qualify. Then only you are going to be qualifying that. In that at that time we are going for AND operation. We are going for AND operation. Okay, and what is R here? If any one subject, if any one test you are going to be qualify, that means you are going to be qualify all the exams. That means you have to qualifying the this round. That any one is enough. Any one is enough. Then you go for R here. Then you go for R. If you want to qualify all the papers, then it is going to be AND. If any one is enough, then you go for R. Okay, and the not is going to be the reverse of anything. The reverse of anything. Okay. For example, if you are not qualified this one, then you are going to be working on the. You are going to be qualified. Then we are going to write like that. For example, I am going to. Uh, for example, I am going to explain with an example. For example, I am going to write 10 is greater than 5 and 10 is greater than 2. What is the output here? Is 10 is greater than 10 is greater than 5?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
that is going to be true here. And the next one is going to be, is 10 is greater than 2?
False.
Yes, sir.
10
Yes,
is
sir.
greater than 2. That is going to be true. This is true and that is also true. And one more thing, and for example, 10 is greater than equal to 1?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, all the statements, all the expressions in that statement are true, right? All the statements are true, then only it is going to be true here. Okay, at that point, for example, I am going to write like this. Okay, for example, this is going to be 11. Yes, 10 is greater than 5 is true. 10 is greater than 2
Yes.
is also true. 10 is greater than 11.
False.
That is going to be false. One statement, if you have to qualify all the exams here, then it is going to be false here. Why? Because of this one. Why? Because of this one only. Why? Because this is going to be a false. Once if one expression is false, all the statement is going to be false. You have to qualify all the expressions. Okay. This is and. For example, I am going to write is 10 is greater than 5. Is 10 is greater than 11 or 10 is greater than 10 is greater than 4 or 10 is greater than 20. Here 10 is greater than 11, that is going to be false. 10 is greater than 4, that is the true. 10 is greater than 20, that is going to be false. False, true and false.
True, sir.
At least one is going to be true, then the total statement is going to be true. At that time, I have to go for OR gate here. Okay, that is going to be a logical OR. I think you are easy students. I think you know that what are the truth tables of logical and logical OR. I think. Okay. Do you know that?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
0 0 1 1 0 1 1. Okay. This is going to be 0 and this is going to be 1 and this is going to be 1 and this is going to be 1. This is logical OR and this is going to be 0 and this is going to be 0 and this is going to be 0 and this is going to be 1. This is the logical AND. Okay. For example, what is the output of this one? This one is going to be true, right? This one is going to be true. Now I am going to apply a not symbol here, a not symbol. That is going to be, I am going to apply a not operator here. What is the inner value? What is the inner value? Is going to be true, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, that is going to be true. Then we are going to give a punch of that true. Then it is going to be converted into false here. Why I am going to write here not symbol? If I give a not symbol, then means true becomes false and false becomes true. That's it, nothing else. In that way, we are going to write a not symbol. Okay, clear? When we are working on that number of examples, then you will get a clear idea about how I am going to use all these operators. Okay.
దాదాపు ఏం చేద్దాం.
Okay, these are the logical operators. These are the going to be logical operators. And for example, these are going to be comparison operators. For example, 10 is 10. We are going to write it like this also. Irrespective of that is going to be is equal to operator is there, right? That is going to be equal to. We are going to write like this also. 10 is 10. Not a 10. 10 is not a 10. And this is going to be false. These are two operators are going to be the some membership operators, is and is not. We are going to check like this directly, like English. We can simply we are going to use it equal to and not equal to also. We are going to work with these things. Okay, this is about is and is not. And this is about operators. And you know we have another set of operators that is going to be bitwise operators. We are not focusing on that. We are mainly focusing on these three operators. Okay. These are going to be arithmetic operators, relational operators, and logical operators. Arithmetic operators are addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus division, floor division, and power operator. Relational operators are greater than, less than, greater than equal to, less than equal to, and not equal to. Logical operators are and are not. Okay. Is there any doubts here? Is there any doubts? And the main important point here, how to read multiple. Yes, yes.
సార్ పవర్ ఆపరేటర్ చేసినప్పుడు అర్థమెటిక్ లో పవర్ చేసినప్పుడు ఫ్లోట్ వాల్యూస్ తీసుకొని చేయొచ్చా సార్?
చేయొచ్చండి. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ హియర్ 2.3 into 2. Okay.
సార్ క్లియర్.
Hello.
Yes, it's clear, sir. Thank you, sir.
If you have any doubt on that, just first of all you have to execute in that compiler. Okay, then only you will know that. Okay. Yes, just everyone practice what I am telling first of all. Okay, the main thing, this is going to be single line input reading. Single line input reading also num1 num2 is equal to map of int comma input of dot split off. Okay, I have to know about how I am going to read the values in a single line. multiple values in a single line. Anyone? For example, here some string is there, some Python is some variable. I'm going to read in some name is equal to Python. There are two variables, for example, and name2 is equal to programming. Like this, I'm going to take two values here. Name1 plus name2. Name1 plus name2. I'm going to write name1 plus name2. Yes, the concatenation. Yes, that means I'm going to apply the addition operation. For example, I'm going to apply the addition operation on two integers or two floating values also. I can apply here on the strings also. I can apply it on the strings also. I can apply the addition operation. Okay. For example, I am going to write a name minus name2. Can anyone tell me that what is the output here? Name minus name2. Name minus name. Name minus name2. Yes, it is going to be an error. No doubt
slide
about
అంతా
that.
సైడ్ కి వెళ్ళిపోయింది సార్ స్లైడ్ అంతా
విజిబుల్ అవ్వట్లేదా?
విజిబుల్ సార్.
చెప్పేది కూడా మాకు చాలా లేట్ గా విజిబుల్ అవుతుంది సార్.
ఓకే. అవుతుందా? కనిపిస్తుందా?
విజిబుల్ సార్.
Yes, okay. Here we cannot apply a subtraction operator on both strings here. That is going to be just we have to note the errors also. When Python is a powerful and high level language, why it is going to be a high level language? The errors, it is saying that it is a where is the error and what type of error it is, very clearly and very perfectly. It is telling that here the error is there. What is that error? That is going to be a type error. First of all, that is going to be a type error, unsupported operand type. That is going to be for minus. That means in between string and string we cannot apply subtraction operation. Okay, this is going to be a type error. That means here it is telling that we cannot apply in between two strings. For example, if I go for one is going to be string, for example, one is going to be string, name is going to be Python, and name minus 3. Can I apply like this? Name minus 3.
No,
I cannot
sir.
apply between both strings, and here I am going to write. It just listen here. Just see here. It is not applicable in between string and integer also. Okay, the subtraction operation is not working on strings. Okay, and for example, if I am going for name into 2, name is Sudhir, I am going to write here into, for example, name2. For example, I am going to write name2. Can I work like this? Name is going to be Python and name2 is going to be programming. I am going to write name into name2. We work like this. This is also cannot multiply the sequence of non-int to the type of string. We cannot apply here also that value. For example, name into 2 here. Name means Python into 2. Then it is going to be working here. How it is going to be working? Into 2. That means Python is for 2 times. Okay, 3 into 2 means 3 for 2 times, right? In the same way, name into 2 means Python for 2 times. And how you learn all these things means when you are working on that, then only you will know that. Okay, if you want to read on all the, for example, there are so many websites, just check this. These are not teaching by any website. Why? Because you have to learn your own. These are all these things. Okay. For example, I have to apply name by 2. Is it possible? Is it possible? No doubt about that. That is not possible here. Okay. And for example here, name star star 2, name star star 2, that is also not possible. Power operator you cannot apply like that. Okay. For example, his name is greater than name 2. His name is greater than name 2.
No,
False.
will sir.
Yes, sir.
It
No,
is going
sir.
to be true here. How it is working, I will explain you. For example, name is equal to name. Is it true?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Name is
True,
equal
sir.
to name. Name is equal to name is true,
True,
right?
sir.
True, sir.
Both are true. Both are same, right? That's why we are going to compare directly like this. Name is equal to name. That is going to be true here. In Python, in C programming language, you cannot compare both strings like this. If you write like this, it will be given error, a pointer error. But in Python, we can directly compare a string to string. And here, it is going to be greater than like this. For example, I'm going to take a name is equal to A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. And name 2 is equal to A, B, C, D, E, F, for example. Name is greater than name 2. Is it true? That is going to be
False.
false. Name is not greater than name 2. For example, I am going to modify here. I am going to modify here B, C, D, F, for example. I am going to write A is greater than B. Name is greater than name 2. That is also false. For example, here name 2 is equal to I'm going to write a very simple thing BCD. Name is greater than name 2. Now
True, sir.
anyone? Name is greater than name 2. Name value is going to be ABCD, and name 2 is going to be BCD. I'm going to check that name is greater than name 2. Is it true or false?
False. True, sir.
True, sir.
Definitely it is going to be. What is that? It is going to be false.
True, sir.
Why?
False.
It is false. The output is going to be false. That is not
ASCII
working
value
on
of A is less than ASCII value of B.
ASCII value. It is working on ASCII value first of all. Okay. That's why here B ASCII value is going to be. I am going to write here ASCII value, that is going to be ORD function of B here. That is going to be 98, and the function of ORD of A is going to be 97. That's why here I am telling that is 97 is greater than 98. No, that's why it is going for false here. Okay. That's why it is going for false here. It is working on ASCII values. How to get ASCII values? That is going to be ORD function. CHR is the function. CHR is the function to get what is the value of that ASCII value. That is going to be like this. CHR and ORD of. And you have to know that what are the ASCII values of small a. What is the ASCII value of small a? That is going to be 97. Starting with 97 in any programming language. Small z, that is going to be 122. That means small a to z is going to be 97 to 122. 97 to 122. And here, if it is going to be a capital A, that is going to be 65. If it is capital Z, that is going to be 90. Capital A to capital Z is 65 to 90. The ASCII values. And for example, if the numbers are in a string here, for example 0, this is not an integer here. For example, numerical values are inside a string, and numerical values also has some ASCII values, that is going to be start at 48 to 57. we have to remember these ASCII values. Small a to small z, that is going to be 97 to 122. Capital A to capital Z, that is going to be 65 to 90. 0 to 9, that is going to be 48 to 57. These are the ASCII values. Okay, based on that it is going to be working. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
For example, here 100 is greater than is 100 is just a minute. It is greater than 6. Is 100 is greater than 6?
False, sir.
It's given false. It's a double quotes in character.
It is going to be a false. Why? Because it is going to be checked that 6 and 1 ASCII values. 6 and 1 ASCII value. 6 value is greater than 1 ASCII value. That's why it is going to be written false. That is not integers. For example, if you take like this is going to be true. If we go for characters, it is going to be checked that ASCII value of 1 with this one. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes. ORD and CHR functions also you have to note it down. ASCII values and ASCII values represent the characters. Yeah. If you have any doubt when you are preparing at home, just make the points in a notebook and message me in the WhatsApp group. I think I already shared that WhatsApp group link. I think everyone joined. I think what is the count here? Only 153 students. I already shared, and again I'm going to share that link. If anyone wants to join here, just please join. If you have any doubt on that, is there any notification, I am going to share you in that WhatsApp group. Okay, I think here nearly 230 students are there, and but in the WhatsApp group there is only 150 members are joined now. Remaining members has to be joined in the WhatsApp group. Then I will, if there is any information regarding any placement, any internship, any some video, I am going to like that video. I will going to share you that, and everything I am going to discuss down that WhatsApp group. Okay. Okay, students. That's it for today.